A trial judge recently decided that a doctor in a horrible case might be held responsible for the death of somebody who was not his patient. Would you like to learn what happened? Come join me as I share with you this horrific story. Hi, I'm Jerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury trial attorney practicing law here in the state of New York. There was an article that appeared in Newsday yesterday, and it's titled, "Pill Doc Still in Lawsuit." So here's what happened. This patient, David Laffer, winds up going to this anesthesiologist, Dr. Stan Lee, who's a pain medication doctor. The patient gets more medication, gets addicted to it, keeps going back, and now you have a vicious cycle. What happened then is David Laffer then goes to this pharmacy and winds up killing 4 people during the course of a burglary, solely for the purposes of obtaining these pain medications. Now, what happens then? Well, the family members of this one girl who died named Jamie Taccetta are now suing the physician. Why are they suing the doctor? Because they say that the physician got David Laffer, this patient, addicted to these medications, and as a result, he then went ahead and committed these horrible crimes. Now, here's what's fascinating. In order to bring a lawsuit for medical malpractice in the state of New York, we always have to show that there is a doctor-patient relationship. And now, because there is a continuing relationship between the two, if there was errors or mistakes or medical malpractice done, now you're able to bring a case. But what about the scenario where there is no doctor-patient relationship like here? So the woman who was in the pharmacy at the time and got killed, there is no relationship between her and the physician who was prescribing the medication to David Laffer. So how then is it possible that she or her family could then bring a malpractice or a wrongful death lawsuit against the physician if there's no connection between the two? This woman, Jamie Taccetta, was not a patient of Dr. Stan Lee. So if there's no doctor-patient relationship, how is it possible that the family could then bring a lawsuit? Well, here's a fascinating thing. So the family goes ahead, brings a lawsuit. The doctor opposes this request, and here's what the judge had to say. In a decision issued last week, the judge said the doctor could be held liable for the death of Jamie Taccetta, even though she wasn't a doctor's patient. Now, that's a remarkable thing, and I don't know whether that ruling will hold up on appeal. And again, I don't have the benefit of the entire decision. I'm just reading what's reported in the newspaper. The judge said that under certain circumstances, a doctor could be held liable if he does not stop supplying controlled substances to addicted patients who cause harm to others. He continues by saying a medical provider may owe a duty to protect the public from the actions of a drug addict, and he may be found to have breached that duty if he creates or maintains the addiction through his own egregious conduct. Now, that's a fascinating rewording of what's typically required in a medical malpractice or a wrongful death case when you sue a physician here in the state of New York. Now, I strongly suspect that that decision is going to get overturned on appeal, but there is one possibility. And here's a story that I want to share with you involving a situation where there was no doctor-patient relationship and the case was allowed to proceed forward. So in that instance, Dad had brought his son to the pediatrician to get a vaccine. The doctor goes ahead, gives the child the vaccine, and as a result of that vaccine, Dad winds up getting the disease. So Dad now turns around, sues the pediatrician. Pediatrician says, hey, wait a second. You and I don't have a doctor-patient relationship. You as the parent, I'm not treating. I didn't undertake to treat you. And the court in that limited instance said, you know what? Even though there's no direct doctor-patient relationship, you as the pediatrician still had an obligation to explain to the parent all the risks and benefits associated with going forward with this vaccine and the possibility that you could come down with this disease as well. So in that instance, the court allowed the parent to continue on with the lawsuit even though there was no doctor-patient relationship. So I'm fascinated to learn whether or not this decision is going to go up on appeal and whether or not a higher court is going to look at it the same way that they did with the vaccine case and turn around and say, even though there's no direct doctor-patient relationship, we think from a policy standpoint that the physician who is now prescribing medication to a known addict had an obligation, a broader obligation, to protect the public, and it was foreseeable that that person could then cause harm and ultimately death to these people. So why do I share this with you? I share this with you because it's an important topic, an important story that just came out yesterday, and I wanted to explain it to you. And chances are you have questions about your own medical malpractice matter or wrongful death matter here in New York. Well, if you do, what I encourage you to do is pick up the phone and call me. I can answer your legal questions. This is what I do every single day, and I welcome your call. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at lawmed10@yahoo.com. I'm Jerry Oginski here in New York. Thanks for watching.